Hello, I'm Koala OM, and this is my Plants vs. Zombies game tier list. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Just a disclaimer that this is my opinion. I know everyone has different opinions, so you can argue about that in the comment sections. I'll start off with the original Plants vs. Zombies. I'm gonna have to put in A tier. Plants vs. Zombies is just a great tower defense game. While the adventure mode can get a bit dull, the levels can get a bit boring, it does have some other content going for it, like, survival endless can be fun, mini games, puzzles. A big portion of the game is adventure mode, which can get a little dull sometimes, but I can't put it any lower than A tier because it did start the franchise. You gotta credit it for that. Nostalgia aside, it is still a good game. So yeah, Plants vs Zombies A tier. Now for Plants vs Zombies 2, this is a very controversial opinion, but I'm gonna have to put Plants vs Zombies 2 in S tier. I'm putting it in S tier for the adventure mode. I know that some people do like battles and pennies, whatever the third one. But I do think a big portion of the game is in adventure mode, and definitely that's where you'll get most of the content out of it. There's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of plants you can unlock. Some people do say that adventure mode is too hard, and while I'll admit it is hard, and maybe some levels can be frustrating, I think that this actually makes it more of a fun game, because you feel accomplished when you beat every level, and especially when you unlock a new plant. And it does actually add a bit of, learning curve. It adds a challenge. And that makes it more fun in general, I think. Just more of a challenge. And yeah, of course, this game is nothing like it was when it came out, and I think that's a good thing. Whilst I don't like some of the recent changes they've made, just adding all of the worlds and maybe battles just made the game the best it could be. I know that microtransactions can be a bit of a touchy topic, but it isn't that bad in Plants vs Zombies 2. Like, I know that some plants they make you buy, you can still beat the game without them. If you really want to experience this game to its fullest, don't level up your plants. Play the adventure mode, don't level up your plants. It's challenging, but it's fun, and I do think that this game is underrated. So yeah, that was a controversial one. Now we're going to go to Garden Warfare. And I think Garden Warfare is also A tier with the original Plants vs Zombies. Garden Warfare 1 is just a great game. It was the first Garden Warfare game of 2, and we'll get to the other one very soon. The customizations in this game were very good. Unlike, it was just a very creative game. I know I've said that about the other ones, but the maps are fun. They added a lot of DLC as well, a lot of new characters in the DLC, so that's always a good thing. One downside about Garden Warfare 1 though is that the whole game is basically just Team Vanquish, Gardens and Graveyards, and Garden Ops. And let's be honest, not many people play Garden Ops, so most of this game just lies in Team Vanquish and Gardens and Graveyards, which does hurt it a bit. It just makes it lack in content. I do think that Team Vanquish and Gardens and Graveyards are fun, but it is a bit restricting, really. You are going to be staring at a menu and title screen a lot, because this game doesn't have a pub world or anything like the game we'll get to in a second. So yeah, it does have its disadvantages, but I think Garden Warfare 1, just great game, A tier. Now, Garden Warfare 2. I think this is up in S tier. Oh, I should have mentioned that I don't actually rank these based on, Garden Warfare 2 is the furthest to the left, so it's better. I'm just doing, like, general tiers. Garden Warfare 2, I think, is just an improvement from Garden Warfare. You have the backyard battleground, that adds a lot of content and, value for the game. And it does mean that you're not going to be staring at a menu screen half the time, which is nice. And yeah, just a lot of new characters. I do think legendary characters, despite how hard they are to get, I think they improve the game a lot, because it gives you an incentive to buy packs once you've unlocked all the other characters and, chase the legendaries. And they are fun to play as well with the legendary meters. Garden Warfare 2 did add a story mode, but it wasn't that complex of a story mode, but it was still there, so I give it credit for that. And the amount of DLC added to this game, Trials of Nomus was a massive improvement to the game. Overgoat and Torchwood were added, the Trials. It just made the game more fun and added a lot more content. And I do think it comes down to that, really. Garden Warfare 1 just didn't have as much content, and that's why I think Garden Warfare 2 is higher. It was just an improvement to Garden Warfare 1, which is a good thing. And next, we'll do Plants vs. Zombies Heroes, and I think C tier is a nice place. Plants vs. Zombies Heroes was fun, but it kind of gets stale after a while. I can't play it for that long at one time because I just lose interest, really. It is fun when you get into it, but, you know, it does get stale. It probably doesn't help that this game hasn't received DLC in a while, and its player base is generally smaller than the other games on this list. It is still an okay mobile game, and that's why I'm leaving Plants vs. Zombies Heroes in C tier. And next is Battle for Neighbourville, which I'm gonna put in B tier. Battle for Neighbourville's just, it's an average game, you know. It is still a Plants vs. Zombies shooter. You know, it's not bad. It's just worse compared to the others. I think it might get a little bit too much hate because of the standards that were set by the previous games, but it is still an average game. Although I have to say, I have been playing it since Founders, and you know, it never really was as good as Garden Warfare 1 or 2. I do really like how they added an actual story mode in this one, but if the most a game has going for it is a story mode, kind of, you know, it can't be that good. I do think that taking away the variants did hit this game very much, because, you know, it took away the replayability, it took away the excitement from opening packs. As much as I do love the customizations in this game, it doesn't really help its case. So yeah, I think Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighbourville, just B tier. It's a good game, average. And finally, Plants vs. Zombies 3. I'm just not going to rank this one because, well, I haven't played it, and I believe they did take this game back, and they're going to be improving it or revamping it. Until it actually does fully release, Plants vs. Zombies 3 will be sitting down here in its own tier. That was my Plants vs. Zombies game tier list. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and I'll be uploading more tier lists in the future.